A cool day with sunshine, high 69 to 73. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front-end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
All right, 5 minutes after 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. It looks like it's going to be one of those rainy days again today, and not just rainy. There is some serious weather that perhaps could make its way down here. And when I say down here, I mean from all the weather that's going on in the southeast, including Mississippi and Tennessee and Georgia and Alabama. In fact, Jacksonville, Alabama yesterday had hail the size of baseballs. That is unbelievable. Do you know, it's just, I remember like basic science, I guess, in high school, where we learned how hail is formed. It's a raindrop falls, right? And then the wind blows it and back up, and then it freezes another layer, and then it keeps, so it does this circle. Do you remember learning that?
Oh, yeah, I did.
So in order for it to become big as a baseball, that means the wind is so strong up there, it can literally blow a piece of ice the size of a baseball back up into the clouds or wherever it goes to freeze over again, right?
Yeah.
That is just amazing. So I wouldn't want to fly through that. Can you imagine flying through hail?
Oh, no, thank you.
The size of baseball?
No.
Galen Unold from LifeSouth Community Blood Center is on the phone. He flies through hail every day. He's the only man I know who's ever been to hail and come back alive. Hey, Galen.
That's right.
How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Larry, Robin. How are y'all?
Good. Where are you right now?
I'm in Ocala today. I'm working in the town today. So
there was a story this morning in the news about a guy, a 88-year-old guy, I think it was, from Leesburg, who has donated 150 gallons of blood in his lifetime.
That's an amazing story.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I mean, it was your competitor that released the news, but
Yeah. I saw it on the on their Twitter feed, and that is a lot of donations. So.
Yeah. So are you traveling anywhere? There's really some severe weather that's expected today.
No, I'm trying not to, and that's why. So because of that, I'm really trying not to go anywhere.
So did you pick up the Ed O'Bannon book yet?
No.
It's still here? Okay. The reason I was asking you, because that's my topic for today. I wanted to talk to you about that in general, because there was another story. I'm just all confused here with all my notes. I guess I mixed them up with my Dr. Heidi Mayer notes. But there was another story about a guy who was saying, what did I do with it? That college basketball is, I don't want to say it wrong, but he was saying basically the same thing Ed O'Bannon was saying, where they take these Hollywood, here we go, Spencer Haywood. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, former basketball player.
Hall of Fame basketball player Spencer Haywood told Sporting News that he sees a tinge of slavery in the treatment of college basketball players. And I didn't say that word slavery when we were talking to Ed O'Bannon, but I thought it. I thought to myself, oh my gosh, they treat them like, and I'm not just saying the black players. I mean, it's all the players, right?
And here's why that's such a stretch, because I've heard him say that before. Here's the problem. These people, to relate this to slavery, you didn't have a choice. They killed you. They separated families. It was an evil, right? I mean, they were demeaning a human being, and they were not even giving them an option as to where to live, what to eat, how to raise their children. We're talking about players who choose to go to a school, or they choose to play basketball. They don't have to do it. Now, what they're saying is once we're locked in, we can't go anywhere, which again isn't completely true, because again, they could leave it anytime they want. They could sit out a year and then they go to another school. I think the NCAA is a corrupt organization, but to relate any way in which you're playing basketball, either collegiately or professionally, as slavery is disgusting to me.
Really?
Absolutely disgusting.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me now I didn't say the word slavery, but I did think it. So let me tell you why I thought it. Because as Ed O'Bannon was talking to us, he was telling us how he was really a great interview, by the way. He was so great. And he was not basically saying that they should get paid for playing. He didn't feel like that. He felt like they should get paid, however, if their likeness is used in something like a video game or any kind of marketing that earns money for somebody else and not them. He was clear that he didn't think money was necessarily or should necessarily be part of the playing, but as far as the marketing, he felt like that was a different story, especially if there's a video game company that is paying the school for that. You know, they pay the school in Ed O'Bannon's case to use his likeness. And I said to him, "Is there anything about the game that you do like?" He said, "Oh, I love the game." I said, "Does it look like you?" He said, "Yeah, it looks just like me." He said, "The best thing I like is that it replicated my jump shot correctly." So I thought that was kind of cool. But I don't know. I mean, so the tinge of slavery statement, I think, has to do with taking a person's talents and making money from those talents without compensating the person who has the talents.
Okay, and what you're saying there, that's theft. It's not slavery. But it's not, because he is being recompensed. He agrees to that scholarship. He's one of, let's say, every year there's maybe 10,000 seniors that graduate high school that go on to play and get a scholarship to play basketball every year. And he's one of that few. And so he can choose not to. He can decide, I don't want to play. And by the way, I agree with him completely that he should be compensated if somebody's going to use his likeness outside of the school. So schools use their likeness to promote, games in their own school. But if they're going to use it on a video game, I agree. And by the way, I've said this from the beginning. The NCAA and all of these basketball teams and football teams make so much money, they should be paid anyway. So,
well, when he took them to court, he did not take them for monetary compensation. He just took it for the ruling. There was no money awarded at all.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. He could have, but he felt that he had a better chance of winning if he didn't.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing, because he wanted and he changed the way it's played. I mean, that game that he's talking about is not out anymore. They don't do it anymore. It's a great game. But he won his case because he proved that he owned his own likeness. And outside of what the school uses it for, he owns his own likeness. And that was a huge ruling.
I did have a funny comment from him. At the end of the interview, I said, gosh, I really enjoyed this interview. I wasn't sure how well we would do because we're not sports people. I was wishing you had been here. And I said to him, and I know that when it goes on YouTube, I'm going to get somebody who says, "You moron, you didn't ask this question. There's a question I didn't ask that somebody's going to say." And he says, "Oh, I know what they're going to ask. They're going to ask, when is the game coming back, because it's not out there anymore."
he's pretty much fun.
And he said, "And I don't know when it's coming back or if it's coming back." So, yeah.
Right, and I completely respect that because it was a great game. But we have to be very careful of how athletes in this country are already treated like celebrities, and I hear it all the time that like the owners of these teams are like slave owners and things like that. It really irritates me.
Okay,
because Ed O'Bannon has made an incredible living because of
he's not the one who said it.
And the opportunity. Agreed.
Spencer Haywood is the one who said it. Okay, just so you know.
Absolutely. And let's talk about Spencer Haywood. I mean, here's a guy who played in the NBA for 11 seasons, I think.
So yeah, but I thought
all kinds of people.
Did Ed O'Bannon play professionally?
Absolutely.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Absolutely,
okay.
For a long time. Yeah. And made lots and lots of money in the NBA, and that platform was given him by UCLA, and I don't know what school Spencer Haywood went to, But whatever school he went to gave him the same opportunity to be exposed so that he could go to the NBA. So it's something to really, when somebody relates anything to racism, you have to, to slavery, you have to push back.
The other issue that Mr. O'Bannon said was the changing of schools, and I said to him, I don't understand that. If you're preparing yourself for a career, when you go out into the workforce, you quite often will switch employers. You'll say, okay, I'm going to go to this other team. Even on the professional sports, they're trading players all the time.
Right.
But in college, they're not allowed to do that. And I think Haywood is saying the same thing, if I remember from the article somewhere. So I don't know. I mean, what is
here's the difference. So if you sign a contract, let's bring it back to radio, right? I when I was in radio, I signed a contract saying that I had a no compete. So if I left, I could not work at another radio station for at least 12 months. Right? I couldn't work at another radio station.
Okay.
Within the market. That's exactly what these players are doing.
I'll have to ask Dan if that's in my contract. I don't know.
So, I mean, it's a common thing in businesses. Sometimes you'll sign, somebody will sign you to a 1-year agreement. When I went to the American Red Cross, I signed a 1-year agreement. And in that agreement, I couldn't leave and go and work for another blood bank within that footprint. That's not uncommon.
Let me take a phone call. We have somebody calling in. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning. It's Lauren.
Hey, Lauren.
Hey, first of all, I just have to say I totally agree with Galen on his comments. Because I didn't hear the interview, but using the word slavery, when you hear the word slavery, well, what I think of is complete lack of freedom, no choice, you're controlled. Yeah, so if you want to use slavery in a conversation surrounding, let's say, sex trafficking, the sex trade, where those people have no control, no freedom, no choice. But to use it in a context such as I totally agree with Galen. What do you think?
I appreciate you saying that. I don't disagree with Galen, by the way. And I just want to make one thing clear. It was not the interview. I don't want anybody to think it was Ed O'Bannon who said that.
No, he did not.
He didn't say that at all.
Oh,
Great.
I'm so sorry.
No,
I am so sorry.
It was another basketball player named Spencer Haywood who said he sees a tinge of slavery in the treatment of college players. And Ed O'Bannon was on talking about his court case to be compensated when his likeness is used in a video game that sells and people buy it because of the players that are on that game. I think that's fair to say. And he won the case. So, yeah.
I see. Yes. Well, and in that situation, doesn't he have legal recourse? So, I mean, I'll hang up. But thank you so much. Great.
Yeah, thank you, Lauren. Yeah, I knew that I might make a mistake by grouping the two guys together, but it was the Spencer Haywood story this morning that made me think of the Ed O'Bannon interview we did last week or so.
Yeah.
Or so.
Friday.
So yeah, I don't disagree with the use of slavery. Maybe the word tinge is important here. He said a tinge of slavery. If you're doing something and not getting paid for it,
that's slavery.
Not. I mean, Spencer, but no, it's not. And here's the difference. These students are getting paid for it. They're getting recommenced by getting a full scholarship to a university or a college or whoever's willing to do that for them. And they are not forced to sign that agreement. There's not a gun to their head saying, if you don't sign this, we're going to kill you or whip your children.
Yeah, I don't disagree. You're right. If they are, that's right. The college education is their payment. So, yeah.
We had talked to a gentleman 2 weeks ago that is with the that tried out for the Olympics and everything, and he went and he said that the people that were running the Olympics, you know, if you were the athlete and you started complaining, they said, well, go ahead, you can hit the door, and we've got 30 people that are going to be able to take your place. So to me,
Absolutely.
that does constitute that. So then they
constitute
are
what?
submissive, and then they stay there.
Yeah, your work's not clear there, Robin. Does not constitute.
What do they constitute? What do they constitute?
Well, that's sort of slavery in a sense, because you're giving them an ultimatum. Well, if you don't do what we want you to do, then hit the road.
Well, you know what? They can hit the road. They're allowed an option. Slaves were never allowed an option. It was, you do what we're telling you to do, or we're going to whip you.
Oh, that's
whip
right.
your children.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Again,
Very clear.
they have an option of being there. Guess what? An employer could do the same thing. It's like, look, I need you to do this, or I've got 50 other people who are willing to take your job. Mm-hmm. How is that different?
Yeah, good points. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you.
You know how many high school seniors would love to play college basketball and get a scholarship? There are hundreds of thousands of them. So, I don't like that argument.
All right, so except for the word slavery, there are other, besides the word slavery, I should say, you're also in opposition to some of the other things that Spencer Haywood said, it sounds like.
Well, I'm not sure what else he said.
Okay, the examples are the double standard. He said there's a double standard in college basketball because coaches are allowed to move freely and often receive raises while players are penalized for transferring schools.
That's true. Yeah, and that's because they sign a contract, and it's 1 year. Whenever somebody says, "Oh, I got a full ride," no, that's year to year. You have to meet certain thresholds. And a new coach can come in and release you from your scholarship immediately. I don't like that. I think all scholarships should be 4 years. But a player can leave and go to another school, and I'm getting really bad feedback.
Sorry.
But they have to sit out for a year, or they have to go to a lower division. So if they went to a Division I college, they have to go to a Division II college.
Did that fix the feedback, by the way?
Yes.
All right, so this is not me arguing with you. This is Spencer Haywood arguing that point, okay? In the article, he says he views the NCAA's full scholarship offers to men's basketball players as insufficient compensation, given the television and ticket revenues they generate for both their schools and the NCAA. His quote is, "You can't expect people to continue to work for nothing on a false hope of, quote, well, this is about education. We are getting you an education. We will feed you," unquote. That's his comeback to what you were saying. It's not mine.
And you know what? I respect that. Now, if we want to have that conversation, let's have that conversation. But in order to have that, then we have to agree that these guys, these athletes, are not slaves. All right, and that this is a choice both the school is making and the player is making, the student athlete is making. And so let's take that off. Now, I agree with him, by the way. I agree with him. You're just
opposed to the use of the word slavery.
Absolutely, I am. Okay. Yes, and any whiff of it offends me because it cheapens what happened in this country, 300 years ago.
So
that's the problem.
Okay, you're right. I don't disagree.
Careful how we do that.
I don't disagree, and he's not here. But what if he had said a tinge of indentured servantry?
We're all indentured servants in one form or a fashion. We're not. Well, that's good. Well, let me. You are in that if you don't work, you don't get any money. If you don't have any money, you're going to be destitute.
No, an indentured servant. Indentured servant is working to pay for something that's already been granted to them.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, it's a credit card, and I'm not saying I'm for indentured servant, but indentured servitude got millions of people into this country.
Right.
It was the only way they could get here.
I know. Okay, so you went on a tangent there. I was just asking if Spencer Haywood's comment would have settled with you better if instead of saying tinge of slavery, he had said a tinge of indentured servitude.
Yeah, it would be better. It's more to me like an employee. Now, if you don't like the compensation you're receiving as an employee, then that's a different discussion, but you're still just an employee. That's
it.
all these guys are. These student athletes are employees of the university.
So bottom line
that's why
is,
they own their likeness.
the bottom line question is this. Do you think the NCAA, you already said you don't like the organization, but do you think they should change the way that they work with athletes? Now, my statement to Mr. Haywood would have been this. Don't they treat the white athletes the same as they do the black athletes? Because he made it out to be that the black athletes are the ones who somehow are getting the bum deal. And I would think that the white kids are getting the bum deal as well. I mean, aren't there white kids on those video games?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're just not. I mean, it's just rare, I guess, But I don't think it's a racist issue.
But does the college
any part of it?
Does the college golf team? Does the college baseball team?
Mm-hmm.
Does the other college sports? I know they don't make as much money as basketball and football or whatever, but I mean, do they get compensated the same way? It's considered a scholarship.
No, because there's most of the time much fewer scholarships. So, for example, the football team will have 60-something scholarships. Basketball usually has anywhere from 8 to 10. Baseball will have like 5. And then, your swim teams, sometimes they have scholarships. Sometimes the track team has scholarships.
But it's the same thing, right? Nobody gets paid. Are there video games made of the college baseball?
Nobody cares.
Okay.
No, nobody cares. I mean, nobody cares because the reason the NCAA basketball game sells is because of March Madness, right? And the reason the NCAA football games sell is because college football is a religion to people.
Right.
So it's completely different.
I just thought it was an interesting topic.
So to give you an idea, there's Tim Tebow. It's according to some. Made the University of Florida somewhere in the range of $75 to $100 million.
Wow!
While he was enrolled at UF and subsequently, I mean, Tim Tebow jerseys sold everywhere. And how much money did he make out of that? Zero. But it also gave him a platform so that he could be on ESPN. He could play baseball. He could play in the NFL. So is it even? No. But that's just kind of the way it is.
Yeah. How is the blood supply and where is the blood mobile? We'll do both of them at once.
Again, we're right at a 3-day blood supply, and so we just need to continue to get out these tornadoes really ripped through Alabama, and now Georgia and the city of Atlanta is basically on lockdown because of this rain. So just please give the Gift of Life and donate blood. Today we're going to be on the south side of the county. We're going to be at the tax collector's office right near the Summerfield Walmart, and we're going to be down by the Villages at the Club Health and Rehab Center. So we're happy to be down there.
All right.
Nice, good locations.
All right, let's hope that the storm stays not as bad as they predict, and we make it through this day okay. But if you're out there, be careful. Put the car in a garage. If we have hail the size of a baseball, that's horrible.
Yeah, you are correct on that.
Wow. All right, Galen, thank you for what you do. I want to make sure we thank Palm Garden of Ocala and Penn Flooring. They are the two sponsors that make the important announcement that Galen gives us each day possible. Palm Garden of Ocala Health and Rehabilitation is your choice for your healthcare needs for somebody in their last years of their lives, perhaps, or maybe not. Maybe they're rehabilitating from heart surgery or something else. They will help with people with Parkinson's, people with other conditions of motion and walking, and I don't even know the right words, but you know what I mean. Go take a tour for yourself. They know the right words. 854-6262 is their number. Penn Flooring is the place we went to go for our flooring here at WOCA. Mm-hmm. They did a really great job. It's durable. It looks as good as it did the first day, and it's now going on 6 years old. So pay them a visit. 1201 Southwest 17th Street here in Ocala. Oh, gosh. One more thing I want to tell you, Galen.
And go say hi to Craig, because that's Galen's friend.
So hi to Greg.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I guess I forgot. All right, Galen, thank you for what you do. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, you guys are the best.
All right.
Bye, all.
We'll be right back.
Palm Garden announces Fast Track. Fast Track, focused assessment, safe transition. When a new guest is admitted to Palm Garden, we start with the ABCs. A is the assessment to determine what the guest needs. B is for basic care, which is excellent nursing and therapy. And C is for consistency to provide what's needed throughout the stay. Fast Track. Palm Garden will get you home fast, really, really fast. Take a fast tour of Palm Garden located at the corner of Southwest 27th Avenue and 34th Street.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. A package explodes at a FedEx facility in Schertz, Texas. Christina De Leon with Fox 29 San Antonio reports it was being sent to an address in Austin where 4 bombs have exploded this month.
A medium-sized package went from an upper conveyor belt and it moved along onto the lower conveyor belt. That's according to police when it detonated, sending shrapnel out and around this area.
A woman with a headache from the concussion was treated and released. No serious injuries are reported. President Trump meets with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman today.
Former U.S. Ambassador to Saudi Arabia, Robert Jordan, expects the leaders to talk about a range of international issues, including the Iran nuclear deal.
Crown Prince Mohammed is, I think, seeking American support to continue pressure on Iran.
They're also expected to discuss the kingdom's effort to stop relying on oil and recent advancements for women in Saudi Arabia.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland in Washington. Fox News. We report, you decide.
When it comes to hiring, you don't have time to waste. You need to get to a short list of qualified candidates fast. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using our intuitive online dashboard. Your time is precious. Let Indeed help you get to your short list of qualified candidates. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Pros in the know start with Lowe's because Lowe's saves pros money every day. And this week we're saving pros even more during our Pro Spring Black Friday event. Look for special savings on the tool brands you trust and the building supplies you need. Plus, save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit Card. So, Pro, now that you know, let's get started. See the Lowe's Pro Desk for more details. Offer subject to credit approval. Can't be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply. U.S. only.
Are you looking for the absolute best buys for fixed